What's happening, folks? Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. It's time for this live starting 11 prediction for tomorrow's trip to the second leg against Alkmaar. We come into this one in great form, obviously another fantastic win at the weekend, another 6-0, another clean sheet for us, which will do the backline's confidence the world of good as well. I can't believe the turnaround in such a short space of time for that game at Tynecastle. The football we're playing is absolutely scintillating, and we know it's early days, but it's just good to see the direction the team are going in, and ahead of a big week. It's an absolutely massive week of football for us. These two games starting with Alkmaar and then the trip to Ibrox at the weekend, which we'll deal with after the game tomorrow. I mean, I almost think regardless of what happens in these two games, you can see the journey we're on under Postecoglou, and you can tell it's going to be a really, really exciting one for us. Alkmaar had the weekend off. They didn't have a game at the weekend. The Eredivisie gave them a break to rest up for this second leg, so I would expect it to be a really tough game for us. They're going to have their crowd behind them this week, obviously. I think it might be 2/3 full. And they caused us problems last week. There's absolutely no getting away for that. I think they look dangerous, particularly on the counter-attack. But good to hear the manager say today, and no surprise really, because we know the way he plays, that we're not going to change our style at all for this game. We have a good 2-0 lead, but to sit back and defend would just be to invite pressure against a good team, and that's not what we want to do. So, we're in a good position in the tie, but I expect us to go and attack tomorrow, and if we can get an early goal, it gives AZ a real mountain to climb in the tie. If we can get to 3-0, even without the away goals rule, a 3-0 aggregate lead would put us in a really, really strong position to go through to that group stage draw on Friday. So we'll start in goals as we always do with Joe Hart. As I said, another clean sheet for him on Saturday. I mean, didn't have much to do. I know St Mirren had that goal ruled out for offside, but apart from that, he was relatively quiet in the game, and those domestic games are going to be like that, particularly at Celtic Park for him, but the more clean sheets he can get, the better. At right back, it will be Anthony Ralston. Juranovic, even if he was going to be in contention, is cup tied anyway, so there's no change there, and I don't expect any change along the back line, so that'll be Welsh and Starfelt with Greg Taylor at left back. Now, I read during the week an unbelievable stat on Twitter that if we start this back five, it will be the first time that Celtic have started the same back five for 7 or more games in a row since 2014. I can't believe that. I cannot get my head around about that. When you think about the success we've had over that period, how much we've changed the back five of the team is remarkable. I think a really, really important thing for us this season is to get some sort of stability and consistency in that back line, because there was so much disruption to it last season. Different centre-back combinations, different goalkeepers, constantly chopping and changing, and I think getting some continuity there is going to be massive for us this season. I know Juranovic has come in. We'd probably all like to see another centre-half and a left-back as well, so you would expect it to change at times throughout the season, but I think the more continuity we can get in that area of the pitch, the better. In midfield, I talked about over the last couple of weeks, again, how we would approach this second leg. We would maybe try and shore it up a wee bit in midfield, but I don't even know why I was saying that, because I know the manager, how he plays, and that doesn't really fit it. James McCarthy's out injured anyway. Wasn't in the squad on Saturday, and I don't think he's travelled along with James Forrest to Holland today. So it will be Callum McGregor, and I expect Rogic to come back in. I think that was maybe just a wee rest for Tom Rogic, even though he came off the bench on Saturday, and alongside him, the hat-trick hero David Turnbull. That is an attacking midfield, but I think we caused Alkmaar more problems than they caused us last week. And as I say, if we can get another really strong start in this game, we're starting games so well. Again, at the weekend, it could have been any score at half-time. It was just wave after wave of attack. And you think about the game last week, the first leg, where Alkmaar did threaten in opening minutes, but then once we get the opening goal, we were the team really in the ascendancy up towards half-time. So if we can get a start like that tomorrow, and as I say, an early goal can almost put the tie to bed. On the right-hand side, given that James Forrest hasn't travelled, it will be Leo Abada, who was absolutely superb on Saturday. I can't believe he's only 19 years of age, and we talked after the game about a bit of uncertainty when he first came in. A lot of money for him, hadn't played a lot of first team football, not at the highest level, not even for one of the biggest teams in Israel. But my God, he's been a sensation since he's come in, and if that's him at 19 years of age, then you can only get excited about the potential that he could have, and hopefully he can spend a lot of years at Celtic, because he looks like he could be a top player. Now on the left hand side, last week Kyogo went through the middle on Saturday. He played from the left hand side, and Edouard led the line. Tomorrow, to get more legs in the team and more energy, I think Ryan Christie is going to play from the left hand side. You can get your thoughts in the comments about what you think of the front three. Do you think Edouard's going to start tomorrow? Do you think it'll be Christie? I just think Kyogo will play through the middle, because I think he's a much more potent threat through the middle for us. Constantly in between centre halves and in between centre halves and full backs. I think you can tell. He said when he came in, before he'd even kicked a ball, that he prefers to play as a number 9, as a striker, and I think you can see why. Now that's not to say that he's not effective from left wing, but I just don't think he's as effective as he can be playing through the middle. And we know obviously the stuff that's gone on off the park this week. I don't really want to get into it too much. I mean, we can't be surprised that Rangers supporters on a bus are singing these types of songs. Let's not pretend we're shocked. The only thing I want to say about the whole debacle, if you want to call it that, is that Ange Postecoglou has handled it absolutely perfectly. And I think the way he answered the questions about it today in the press conference couldn't have been any better. The media want to turn it into this big talking point that's going to go on for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I don't think that does Kyogo any good. It's been dealt with. There's nothing special about it. It's not about education. These people knew what they were saying. They know what's right and what's wrong, but they just choose to do it anyway. And it's been dealt with, and now we can just draw a line under it and move on. We'll go to Ibrox at the weekend, and I'd love for nothing more than Kyogo to score the winning goal. But he's been an absolute sensation. He's been a breath of fresh air. He's a joy to watch. He's one of the many factors that makes you get excited about watching this Celtic team. We've got 2 massive games this week, and I'm just buzzing that we can go into them really excited. Every Celtic game that comes up now, you can't wait for it. And contrast that to last season, where you dreaded every single minute. The turnaround in a short space of time, as I've already said, has been absolutely remarkable. That's the team that I think the manager will go with tomorrow. A massive game for us before the trip to Ibrox on Sunday. But I think the progress we've made in the last 3 or 4 weeks, if we can sort of bookend that by making the Europa League group stages, we'll be in a better position than I thought we were going to be when the full-time whistle went at Tynecastle a few weeks ago, that's for sure. Like this video, comment with your own thoughts below. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We're over 31,000 now, which is absolutely amazing. I can't believe the number of subscribers we've gained in the last couple of months. It's been brilliant. So if you haven't already subscribed, log into YouTube, click the red subscribe button, and we'll see you tomorrow after the game for live full-time reaction, wherever you're watching the game. Enjoy it. I'm on the hoops.